Hi, I'm Kat Fowler.
And I'm Amy Sikarskie.
And welcome to our 9th episode of Conversations with the Council of Light. So I'm the host of the Soul Awakening podcast. I'm a meditation teacher, an energy healer, and reader. And I'm interviewing Amy Sikarskie, who is an intuitive channel and co-founder of Spirit School and also author of the Starseed Ascension series, with the books Messages from the Councils and Activating the Starseed. And so before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to this channel below, and so you'll be notified when we release any future episodes.
Yes, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a thumbs up. You can go ahead and do that right now. So please leave a thumbs up and share with a friend, and we also check all of the comments.
Yes, and if you have any questions at all for the council, you can email the counciloflightquestions@gmail.com, and that is where we will be checking and reviewing the questions, and then that's how we put them in the shows that come up. So I'm excited for this episode. It's a little bit different than the last few. So typically we do like a Q&A most of the time with the council, and then we've had little sections of star races, different star races coming in. So this will be part 3 of the star races, but the whole episode will primarily be talking to them. And so it's going to be exciting. I mean, it'll be in the title, but so ideally we're going to be talking today to the Pleiadians and the Arcturians. And I'm really looking forward to that and their transmission.
Yeah, I am as well. I just felt the different shift when you said the Arcturians. So I'm excited. It's a new opportunity or experience, and so this is going to be something that I hope you all enjoy as well. And we'll bring through the Council of Light, and then Kat will invite in probably the Pleiadians first, is what you were thinking, and then you'll see the energy or feel the energy switch. So it's a nice opportunity to feel the different vibrations from the different races. And we have prior videos too, if you want to check those out. So
awesome.
All right. Okay, so I will just go ahead and quicken. So one moment, please. Okay. All right. Yes, we are here, and it is a very joyful opportunity for us to be here with you today. Greetings, dear friends, and welcome to all who are here for this opportunity. Our partner is looking forward to our experience today, and she is here listening in the background as we have come through, and the energy is building, and the energy is shifting, and it is a bit different for her physical makeup today, you see, because where we have come through previously as a collective or as a spokesperson, more so compartmentalized or configured with her personal team, her personal council vibration coming through as a spokesperson, as you were to call it. We are going to be expanding her horizons and expanding this opportunity and experience, because we will be letting in more and more of the other frequencies of the members of our team to come through individually, you see. So we do understand that you would wish to speak with and to begin with a conversation with a Pleiadian emissary. Is this correct?
Yes, for sure. But if you'd like, as the energy's building, I just had 1 or 2 quick questions for the council.
Ah, beautiful. Yes, indeed. Shall we then?
Okay, so one is just a thought that I was having, and so about your view on the universe and what our solar system in particular and what it looks like. So I know that, as humans, we primarily see our universe and our solar system through a 3rd dimensional lens because of our 3rd dimensional bodies and senses and whatnot, and I'm not talking about the clairvoyance or the clairaudience yet. And so, we have the planets, we have all the different planets, and we see all these different bodies within our solar system physically. And so I'm wondering, because with clairvoyance, we can see very different things that exist. Now, when you have that clairvoyance open, what dimensions are you able to see through? Like, how many dimensional layers can you actually be viewing with the 3rd eye from a 3rd dimensional human body?
Very good. We like that you delineated that, the third dimensional human form. Yes, we were thinking from what form? So you very well shared that with us. Well, from the third dimensional aspect, you probably could see, if you were to activate your light body and blend and merge with the physical makeup and your third eye, as you call it, you probably could see to the sixth or seventh dimensional frequency, but there would always be a merging and a blending as you weave up through these higher frequencies, you see. So we would say that in that opportunity, you would have already been increasing the light quotient within your physical capacities, and your physical body would already be activating up to the higher frequencies, you see. So for those who are focused and centrally located in their expressions and in their experiences in a third density or fourth density, in this frequency that you are weaving out of, you understand, it would be a bit more along the astral planes, along the fourth dimensional frequency, in which they would see energies and opportunities of information to come through. So as you continue to activate your light body and to shift and merge in the new coded frequencies for the physical form, you see, the human anatomy is changing, the DNA structures are changing, you are upgrading indeed through your thoughts, your awareness, your intentions, and the vocalization, that which you are speaking, carries a vibration that will lift your frequency and attune your energetic system and your cellular structure to a higher dimensional space of existence. Also your foods and your health, physically, mentally, and spiritually, all play a part in the ascension process. And as you are continuing in the ascension process, for those whom are activated in the fifth dimensional frequency currently, will probably be able to see with their third eye, with their physical eye closed, with only their third eye, up into the 12th dimensional grid. And here is where you will see the boundary and the border around the planetary system. And for those whom would be speaking and communicating with their teams, who might be observing from the 12th to the 16th dimensional frequency, often their teams are coming down into a frequency which will be more appropriate for the visionary expression, for the visionary experience, for the human form to understand. Because often we do communicate with you through thought, through emotions, and through pictures that you already have within your mind and brain. We activate these pictures, you see. We locate and we illuminate these pictures. But to present to you a new identity, a new picture, a new vision, something that the human form has not yet experienced, we would have to come down more closer to the human body inside of the 12th dimensional grid, you see. So we are saying that it is different for all because you are emerging. But if you were to stay only in the third, you would see to the fourth and fifth. But if you are now activating and blending and beautifully ascending to the fifth dimensional realms of creation, you can thus see up to the 12th dimensional grid, the 12th dimensional aspect around Mother Earth.
Okay, and what about when someone has a vision of like an ascended master? Is that the case where that ascended master is then also creating the vision in the person's, third eye and pineal gland, and then that's what you're seeing?
Very well indeed. It can be different for all indeed. So for some, yes, it is like a hologram where they are showing a picture, or they are activating a picture that would be within the system already, but then their vibration would come in and that would give it a life. And that is how you know whom you are speaking with or whom you are in communication and contact with, is based upon the vibrational frequency. For some spirits can present a false picture. They could claim to be a being whom which they are not, you see. So you must always test with discernment, understanding whom you are speaking with based on the frequency of love. And our partner likes to work with the Archangel realms because they do assist in vetting spirits that might come through, you see. So you may see pictures, but it should be based upon the frequency. This should be the delineating factor, is the vibration of love and frequency, and just an awareness and a knowing that you are in the presence of a grand ascended master, that you are in the presence of a light being whom is full of love, whom is here for you to guide and comfort and to inspire and bring wisdom and nourishment and nutrients to you through the energetic system, you see. for they are bringing in a new vibration for you, an activation, information, healing vibrations for the physical and energetic form you see. There are some who would indeed see the actual impression or the energetic makeup of an ascended master, and they would be ascended a little bit as well up into the fifth dimension or beyond, and then the ascended master would lower their vibrational frequency, their light quotient would become more dense in your realm, and you would then see them. Often it is with the third eye, but some are able to see with the blending of the physical eye and the third eye combined as a full functioning human form you see.
And what about in the case of when you're just walking through the woods and you can see many different things, like from the elemental realm? Or what about when you're in a sacred site and you can see an etheric city or retreat? What's happening there? How are you receiving those messages, or how is that translated through the third eye?
Indeed. Often it is an imprint or a code where your third eye is feeling similar to sonar. You are projecting your vibration out and receiving an imprint back, the form and the structure, which the vision would then pick up and would go through your system and would register with the mind and with the mind's eye as a vision you see. So you are using and utilizing your third eye chakra and also all aspects of the energetic body, the heart chakra, the throat center. All of your frequency, all of your awareness, all of your beingness is receiving information, is receiving imprints and frequencies and vibrations. And for those whom are using their clair gift, it is translated through the clair vision you see. So you are seeing it is there. All is energy, all are patterns and configurations. It is only that you are seeing these patterns and configurations in a structure, and it could be in a holographic structure. And as you lift your vibrational frequency and become more aware, more in tuned to the frequency of that realm or that space of creation, it may begin to feel more opaque and more, as you would call it, dense or more real in your reality and in your experience you see. So you are then seeing through realms of creation. You are in communication with the God and the source of all, the love that is here, the love of Gaia that is here for not only mankind, but for all the realms that are here, having an expression, an experience, and blessing the shores of Gaia.
So I'm wondering with ETs or higher dimensional beings or interdimensional beings that reside, let's say, in the 12th dimension or higher, what does the solar system look like to a being that resides in that frequency and higher as their constant state?
This is a joy for us to speak about. It is very interesting. It would be on some level up to a personal preference. Or also upon if they are in a system. By this we mean within an incarnation. Are they in a body type? Are they in a prototype? Are they in a community having a life expression? Or are they in spiritual state? You see, there are many spaces. So for those who are in, let's say, spiritual state, they can see through all aspects of creation. They can bring their awareness and they can see what would look like to you mathematical equations or codes or imprints of symbols, it could be, that are consistently moving around spaces of time and around planetary bodies. And these are, you could confirm, you could understand it to be an aspect of a matrix. It is a grid structure, and these are some of the vibrational frequencies that were programmed to hold the space, hold the collective, to hold the physical makeup you see. So some do see these, and if they do, they are often as a part of their specialty. What they then do is update the codes or understand and make sure there are no glitches in the system you see. They are caring and taking care of this. There's a beautiful aspect of life as you would understand it to be, because it does assist to support the life forms and the lives within the life forms. By the first life forms, we are speaking of the planetary body or the structure of the star. From a gaseous state, there is an aspect that would be reciprocated in these codes, so which would be mirrored, or you would see an understanding within these codes. Then there are other expressions from the star races where they are seeing light dancing. They are feeling and seeing in a way it blends together the sensations, but the emotions that are emanating from a particular time and space, from a particular planetary body, from a particular aspect of a collective, or they can zoom in to a very individualistic nature and perceive, to sense and feel and see the emotional states of consciousness of the human form and of what is happening on the planetary body, not only based upon the human expressions, but also in nature and in the environmental aspects and with Gaia herself, you see, and also have an understanding for realms that are very dark, that do not belong upon the earth, that you are working towards, and we are assisting on releasing and clearing, because the earth is moving into a higher state of awareness and a higher vibrational space and expansion for only the lighter beings to be upon, you see. So there is that aspect as well. And for many of us, we do see physically, and we also see holograms. So we kind of see physically, and then we can also see around the physical nature, we can see what would be termed holographic images that give us information around the health. So if you were to consider the human form and your energetic anatomy, the physical makeup of the structures of the chakras and the streamers and the all of the disruptions that could be within the auric field and all of the beautiful light that could be in the auric field, we do see this. We see the physical makeup and we see the energetic makeup of the human body, but we also see that of the land and the sacred structures and the vortices around the earth center and the grids within the earth, and also the points of light. You would term them portals or interdimensionary way stations. We kind of see these in the astral realms and also in the cosmic frequencies around the planetary body. So we do have an awareness, and it is mostly upon where are we placing our focus, you see. And you understand that because many of you here in human form are starting to see and feel and perceive and blend through different aspects of realities. And it is all based upon where is your attention going, where is your vibrational frequency, most being your reservoir. Where are you stationed with your energetic frequencies, like a reservoir? Where are you with your energy? And this would be where you most often would understand to be the reality of earth life, your expression of creation, your experience that you are experiencing, you are perceiving, you are receiving, and you are also emitting out energetic vibrations and intentions. It is like a play, and it is also like a moving, flowing stream of consciousness, like a moving, flowing stream of water. When you are greeted with an obstacle, you flow around it, you see. So it is a very unique opportunity to be in a star being's body, because we do have different restrictions based upon the body and the prototypes, but our advancement is a bit more ascended than the human body. So we often have a more expansive level of awareness and a more expressive opportunity to communicate through perceptions and reception, and also as we are expressing and emitting our intentions and our energetic frequency, you see.
So this is so interesting, and I have just a few more questions on this topic in particular. So when you were discussing the first expression, what I was kind of seeing was similar to like the Matrix movie at the end, where like Neo's seeing all the lines and streams of code, and it's all green, but for some reason I thought it was all gold. So I was wondering just a few questions, like what color is all of this? Is it binary? I don't think it's binary. I'm assuming it's all numbers. And then if it's all numbers that are streaming down, does that mean that mathematics are universal and it's not just like an earth? It's not just something that we use on earth for our monetary systems. So
very beautiful indeed. Yes, your numeric system is a bit more simplistic. But you are accurate in the idea, the concept of the vision indeed. And to speak to the frequency. It is not a green per se. It can be gold, silver, blue. It can fluctuate based upon where are we observing and the intention of that space and time. But we do understand that it is not only a binary or a mathematical equation as you would understand in such a linear way. It is more quantum in nature. There are also aspects within it that we mentioned that look like symbols or codes or sacred geometry. And within this minor aspect, we are calling it as a whole life expression, and it could be a whole life form, a whole consciousness, a whole theory. So that could be a small frequency that is like any of the sacred geometries you see, and within it there are many dynamics. So it is holding a frequency for a particular purpose and a reason, and so there is a blending and a merging of binary systems, as you understand, but it is also more quantum in nature. And if you could envision energy streaming, so this beautiful light streaming with consciousness, there is an entanglement too, or a weaving of consciousness around. So it is a bit more advanced in the movie The Matrix, but it's a very similar concept, you see. And to consider your visions, that is accurate, but expand a bit more. Add into it more elements. Add into it a light language, codes from the stars, codes from the earth, codes or symbols from previous civilizations, and the tones of God, the light language, sounds of God in creation are all within this system that we will simplistically call it the matrix system, but it is holding life, and it is assisting, and it is supporting for your ascension.
And my last question on this is, from the 12th dimensional or higher perspective, like visually, because you described a little bit with the human form what you see, but what do planetary bodies look like? What do angels and ascended masters look like very high dimensional beings? What does the central sun look like? What does really God look like in that capacity with that vision?
Very beautiful. One moment while we blend it with our partner so she can see. One moment. Okay. She understands, yes indeed. We can see through, you may understand it like X-ray vision. So we can see through the physical makeup of the planetary bodies, but we also see the light emitting from around it, which would be the vibrational state of consciousness, intellect and emotion you see. And often we see a lot of light when there is more activity. Your activity on the planetary body of Gaia, Earth here, is very bright and chaotic. There are a lot of peaks and flares of emotions and aggression, but also then a smoothing and a strong vibration of love. And that is why we are saying that we are succeeding. It will be a success, because in your awareness you are made of that which is abrasive. But if you feel into your heart and clear away that imprint and that programming, or what you might be picking up from society, you will feel it in a more expansive or a deeper level, that you are all one, that God is the creator, and that Gaia is here holding you in her sacred womb of love, and humanity is coming together more and more, and they are understanding the importance of working in unity, and we are moving past this expressions of violence, and we are moving more to the golden state, you would call it, where all is at peace. But you are not there yet. So as this is occurring, you are understanding that the situations are clearing out, and to clear out they must be made aware of. So here we see flares of anger, flares of fear, flares of deception, but there is a beautiful coating around that comes from within, and it comes from within the star races, the human form, and the earth angels incarnate. That is a very beautiful loving frequency, We see it lifting up from the earth plane out into the expansive of your atmosphere, and it is very beautiful indeed. We are continuing to say, or we are saying to continue your meditation practices, being in compassionate states of forgiveness, finding the love within if you are feeling that you have been hurt or betrayed. We are saying to please try to find a place of forgiveness and compassion, for there is much going on right now. There is much in an individual level, the micro level, and much at the macro level within the communities and earth as a whole. So we are saying to tune into your frequency, tune into your higher self and God consciousness, into your team and spirit for comfort and for blessings and for love and for joy. So this is how we are seeing the bodies of the platforms that you are having life upon. When we are in communication with a higher frequency of the Archangel or an Ascended Master, it is mostly based on vibrations. We are feeling a frequency and emotion of love and light with a beautiful aspect of their creative consciousness, of a flavor, you could call it, or a vibration of their signature. We are feeling it is not made known, or it does not necessarily need to be made known, a visionary pictorial, because we understand from a higher perspective, pictorials are limiting in nature. They are based on a certain set point in time, and so very often it is only based upon the reception of the energetic vibration, and it is very often that the pictorials need to be presented to a human form or one who is in a different frequency, because then it helps them to solidify their experience, you see. But we are at the 12th dimension and beyond, above. We do not need to have this extra. It would be as if they were talking down to us, you could understand. It would be undermining our abilities in whom we are. We do not need to see this vision of their pictorial nature. We can see or feel or understand the vibration when we are in the space of an Ascended Master or an Archangel being. And additionally, you were asking about the frequency of the God Source, Creator of creation. And this we do feel as sun. You would understand sunlight hitting your skin and flowing so softly within and warming you and bringing about joy and elation, and then bringing about an expansiveness. So we would feel that. We would feel the vibration of Source, Creator, of love, and it could feel in our energetic systems like a sun, like a warm glow, all-encompassing within our signature that is not only surrounding us like a hug and an embrace, but also it activates and reminds us of whom we are and where we come from and our purpose and our path in our expression of a fraction of the light of the truth and the consciousness. And you all have that ability as well while you are here in physical form as a human. And around the Grand Central Sun, there are many ways to see. From your linear makeup, you might anticipate, I see a sphere with a light and all of this creation within it. But as you go within it, you are finding that it can be different. There is not so much, there does not seem to be so much a form, as it can be an expression of thought and emotions. But we do see, and many are in a physical prototype, they do take upon a form, because it is very busy activity. There are many beings there who come from different spaces, and there are many beings there. Our partner sees a vision and she is saying to share. So we are showing her what it looks like there, and so what she is wanting to share with you from our it's our voice, but it's her thought, you see. This is very funny indeed. It is often the opposite. But so she is saying to share. Okay, so if you wanted to be standing across in a crowd and you see different prototypes, bodies that look differently, you would be able then to see perhaps where they are coming from and a bit about their vibration and frequency without being invasive. Because there is so much activity here, there's a lot going on, and so many do not want to feel invasive, to poke or pry, or to, you call it, read another in a way. So there is so much activity, so it lends itself to a form of a boundary, because you are saying, I'm just going to share with you from my physical expression a bit about who I am and a bit about my personality and where I come from and my consciousness. so that I am not being tapped into or asked to merge my frequency with many or have a telepathic communication with so many throughout the day. Because on the Grand Central Sun, there is a lot of activity. There are a lot of beings coming from all around the galaxies, here and there, near and far, parallel or quantum in nature, and also here, which you would understand to be here if you were a human. And it is always a flowing, ebbing and flowing, and so much a movement. So at the Grand Central Sun, of course, we can see vibrations, and we can see like the dualistic nature of the physicality and then the energetic expression. But we also are saying that many will just make it simple and easy for the space and sake of all to put on a suit, put on a costume, decorate themselves in a way that others would understand whom they are and where they're from. We do hope that we addressed all of your expressions of interest here in our answer.
Yes, that was really interesting, actually. Thank you. So I don't have any more questions for the council. If you guys have anything you'd like to say about what's going on in our current time, feel free. Otherwise, whenever you're ready for the Pleiadians, we can begin.
Very good. We will just let the Pleiadians come in. They are already around. Okay. Our partner is feeling it. So we are preparing to blend. Well, we will slowly step away as the Pleiadian frequency comes in. Do give her a moment, please. Yes, we are here. Hello and greetings. It is a very beautiful opportunity to be here. We are a frequency of beings from the Pleiades. And in our hearts and our mind, our partner with us, we are feeling a clapping. Yay, the Pleiadians are here. So we are very happy to be here because we understand that this has been requested by many. And we understand that many of you are our family, and we have such a beautiful expression and expansion of love for you from our hearts, and our partner's heart is vibrating like this. You see, she's saying, hold on, I don't know if I can hold all of that love. So her system is regulating, but we do ask you to sit for a moment and just to connect with your frequency and then expand into the frequency of the Pleiades. We are very close to you. We love you so very much, and many of you are us indeed. We are family at the very core nature, at a very beautiful expression of consciousness, and we are sharing with our partner. She is feeling emotion in her voice. One moment. Many will resonate, many will feel this beautiful expression because we are sharing that here in this vibration coming through are many aspects of the higher self-consciousness for many who will make a relation and who will tune in for this expression, this transmission of frequency today. So we are bridging for you. We are bringing through the vibration of the Pleiades so that you will understand. And this may be an activation or a strengthening of your soul light frequency and consciousness for those whom are here that are a family of the Pleiadians. So thank you so much for this opportunity. We are happy to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, I have many questions about your race in particular, because a lot of people call the Pleiadians cousins to humans, and that you're essentially where the human race will evolve to in a few thousand years or so. That's where humanity is going. And so I wanted to know if this is true, and if this is what is your purpose and reason for guiding humanity in such a way?
So beautiful. Yes, indeed. It very much blends perfectly with what we were sharing. So very interesting. Here we are on the same wavelength, you see. So in the future, you will expand. Your expressions will advance to the attainment of the physical properties of where the Pleiadians are now with their physical bodies. Our physical bodies, of course, we are here in this body at this moment. We are bilocating. We have left our form. But you see, so this is what you could say from the future or from a higher space of consciousness. you are us and we are you. So you may be speaking with your future family, own self, collective, an aspect of your higher being, your full soul self is endless, it is eternal, and there is no time. So being so close in a physical expression, our physical makeup is very close and similar to the human form that is currently upon your planetary body. And because of that, it blends and it makes such a beautiful expression of conscious creation and connection, where you can feel us much more intensely, or you have an understanding that, wow, I do notice a shift and I feel frequency of love and peace and a calm, soothing vibration, but it almost feels like myself if I were to be looking in a mirror, only perhaps I was a different shade today, a different emotion, a different color. There is something just so slightly different, you see, and it is the up-leveling, it is the ascension of who you are and where you are going, and it is that needs to be made known that we are not only speaking of a physical body, because you are bringing this physical body through. You are actively a part of the ascension process, which changes the physical body, you see. And you had a conversation with our partner earlier this week where she was understanding a bit more of this, remember? And it's all about changing the physical body. And you are all doing very well. You are in the beginning stages of this expression. We see it as chunks or chapters of time. And you are at the beginning where many will be, not only activating their light body energetically, but also bringing the light into the physical form. And so in the future, you are heading to where we are now. And in this space, we have more opportunities. Not only do we telecommunicate, but we can bilocate. And we can merge in and out of things. So our physical bodies are not as dense, they are made up more of light, and within the expression of light gives way for movement, if you want to call it, for physical, your form to move differently. But also the light within expands your consciousness. So you have more of a knowing of experiences and expressions. It is more like through osmosis where you receive information and communication. And also you are able to then emit a bit more. So you are able to shine a bit brighter. Your frequency is very much received by another without distrust or without thinking about, I don't know, I'm getting a funny read on this one. So it is very clear. You could say it is direct, but it is not pushed forcefully. It is just very clear of whom we are and our intentions, and we are working together in communities based in a system of love. In this space, the egoic nature gently releases, and we are all working together as a community. We are all working together as a community, understanding who we are. We have our beautiful self. So we are unique in our awareness. We are unique in our expression and our vibration. But we are blending like a tapestry, this community. And in our personal and in our community, our intentions are that we are ascending in our consciousness and in our awareness through a space of love, so that we may assist others. And here we are assisting you. So this is a beautiful opportunity because you are so close to us, and it was not so far back in time. And as you were saying, about 1,000 to 1,800 years into the future. So this is life and consciousness in the cosmos are never ending. It is eternal. And you would say, wow, 1,800 years. That is a very long time. And we are saying, enjoy the process. Enjoy the experience. Because from our experience and from our understanding, it is a long time when you break time down to experiences, but you are eternal. So we are saying do not so much be focused on trying to get there or how long it will be. Enjoy the now expression, because how will you go back once you've advanced, you see? So it is like growing stages when you look back to your preschool or your kindergarten or before school and you say, oh, I miss being a child. That was so much fun. You know, everything is so different. The elements are different, of your surroundings. The consciousness of your intention is different. The purpose for being there is different. So you are learning, you are expanding, you are understanding, and this is all happening in a collective consciousness. So quantumly across the shores of Gaia through communities, and you are experiencing it physically and with conscious awareness, and many of you are learning how to regulate your light bodies. You see, you are learning how to expand and how to glow and how to clear the frequencies which are not a vibrational match to you, that you may have come across, that have imprinted into your system. So, does this make a sense? Do you have any other questions or topics for us?
Yes, this was interesting. I do want to ask you about, how you were relaying us to being like, oh, your time in childhood. For me, that would remind me of an easy time in life. And wouldn't you say that like Earth is a lot harder of a reality to live through? Like a third dimensional reality is a lot more painstaking and tedious and slow compared to what you guys are used to.
It is true. You could look at it like that. It is very funny. We see it differently, but yes, indeed. But we see it that there will be aspects that you will have a fondness for. And there will be an aspect of like, oh my goodness, I remember when I thought I knew so much. Whoa, boy, was I wrong, because there is more to understand. So it is a very, we are saying cute way of it, but it can be challenging. So again, within the challenging experience, so you become so proud of yourself in a very beautiful way. You become more accomplished and full of your light. And these are the stepping stones which you need to find your soul frequency and strengthen your vibration and be whole and healed, so that you may then ascend and express your consciousness and be part of a community moving forward to do the same, you see. And we are saying it will not be the same for all, but it is what we have seen for many who are expanding and would consider themselves to be Pleiadians and be on that trajectory. There's a path of expression.
Okay, so I was wondering, around what dimensional frequency do you all typically reside? And also, what do your physical forms look like and your planetary system? Like, is it physical or are you more on a star? Because when I've done readings on clients and I've seen what I know a little bit of is the Pleiades, I've seen the water look different, the beings look different, everything looked different, very sparkly. And so I'm wondering if you can share, and that's only a small fraction with the people that I've seen that are Pleiadian. So I'm wondering where do you reside and what's your world like and what do you guys look like?
Oh, very well. Yes, indeed. So we are typically in the 9th dimension, merging up to the 12th dimensional frequencies. This would be a good span, you see. And here, baseline, 9th is a baseline. And what does it look like? Okay, then shall we? One moment, we are going to share pictures with our partner here. So one moment. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we are showing her, so she will bring forward words. And we have caught the words, and now we will express the words. So here, when you were talking about the planetary body and the waterways, there is a lot of sparkles. You are correct. There is a lot of consciousness within this, within the energy of the water. So if you are to be sitting and looking at water waves on your body of your planet, and you see the sun hit it, you may see little collections of ripples of sunlight. Well, in our planetary system, and yours as well, but it is more advanced and more present. On our planetary system, within every ripple of light is life. It is like a microcosmic expression. The light comes in and life happens, and then it fades away very quickly. But it is beautiful because it expresses to us that there is always life, there is always a gentle flow, and that life is sacred, whether it be for a moment in time or for 1,000 years. Life is sacred, and every experience that you have is a soul expression of God. Every experience, if you were to call it life or outside of a form, outside of a biodome and a physical body, is important for you. Every experience holds a beautiful weight. Every experience makes you whom you are, and it is a beautiful collection of the whole. So we do have that, and because of that, those who are in a structure, a physical Pleiadian body, really enjoy looking at the waterways because it is symbolic in that nature, but it's also very literal because we are seeing beautiful expressions of life come and go so quickly, and we see light from the source. We have a different, our sun looks different than your sun, how it comes in. The sun looks different, it is in a different frequency, and it is more like if you would imagine light from heaven, like these beams of the sunlight coming down and the angels singing in this sort of a way. It's very soft and beautiful, and it is encompassing around, and we have more of a communication with our sun in that we speak to it energetically, and it becomes a part of us. We can hear it humming, we can hear the frequencies, and it fluctuates from time to time based upon what we need. But yes, indeed, and we can ingest like you would call them berries, nuts and berries, food from the land, but we can also pull in energy around to strengthen our structure. And so in your planetary system, you will say you are eating the sunlight, you see. But it is similar for us, but we can pull in and merge and pull energy in. So this is one way that we continue to keep up our energy and flush it out, and we regenerate this way. But what do we look like? Okay, let us see. So anybody here? Okay, so we have a similar structure, a similar anatomy of the human, a little bit longer maybe for some. And we can shimmer, so you will see light shimmering off of us, but also you will see like the waves of energy shimmering off of us. And typically you can see what one's natural state of awareness is, or their the characteristics. Excuse us. You could see the characteristics of their how do you call it here? Personalities. You can see the characteristics of their personalities based on the light and the emanation. How far is it from the body? How close is it? And does it move? And you can get an understanding for the moment in time. What expression are they in? Are they in a hurry? Are they contemplative? Where are they? So you can see this. Just on your planet, you visualize, or let's see, not visualize, you perceive, you see somebody, and you see their body language, and you get an understanding of how they're holding their self, and you can see the energy around them. And we do the same, but we have a bit more of a quicker, instantaneous knowing, and what's expressed is more than what's expressed from the human body, because we are seeing the energy as well. And some of us do love to have long hair with light flowing through, and some of us do not like to have hair at all, and we like to show on our scalp. We can put what you would understand, like in your community, is a tattoo, but it is not ink, it is light. So it will be symbols or codes woven in, how should we say, engraved, carved in, and this is very beautiful too, because most who do this are consistently sharing their light, and they have a very beautiful bright third eye, and you can just feel the light coming from them, and they are not hiding anything, because as they are thinking, then these aspects will light up, and you can see it glowing on the surface of the skin, if you want to call it that. So some do like to wear hair because it's very enjoyable and it's comforting, because it is a protection of this anatomy here, where we do a lot of our creating from. and we are very much focused where we communicate telepathically. So it is a way to protect oneself, to have the hair. By protection, we just mean for comfort. It feels good, it feels warm and safe. But some will say, I am stepping away from that. Here I am, you can see me, and you can see all of my thinking, because then these lights will light up. It's as if you can see the brain activating and the light coming through, you see. And we do have children. We are showing our partner. She is just seeing a little bit of the scenes, and she sees children, so she's saying to share with you. We're beautiful little children, and they are centrally expressing, located at the heart space in the throat. And it is a beautiful experience where they feel respected. We respect our children. They feel comforted and loved. And if they have questions, we share with them. We do not talk it down to them. They are very aware. Think of your children that are very bright and very consciously connected and very aware. And our children are lit up. Their chakras are all lit up. And they are receiving experiences through all of their capacities. Were there other questions you had about our experience here in the Pleiades?
Yes, that's really interesting. So I'm wondering, because I know on Earth, people call the Pleiadians, the constellation, the Pleiades, the seven sisters, because there's seven main stars. So do you all live on those different stars within the constellation, or is there like a physical planetary body, or is this more, since you're in the ninth dimension, more etherically a system that you live on?
So beautiful. Yes, indeed. Think of it as a collection of islands, maybe your Hawaiian islands, where upon each star there is a little bit of life, perhaps. There are no restrictions. All are pretty much activated. There is one that is a little bit more heavy or not as activated. It is a light. At this point we are speaking, it is our light that helps to activate it. There is one that is struggling a little bit, we will say, but then within, so off of the stars, off of the body, in just floating in the cosmos, you could envision it like a holographic city there, and the stars support us. So there is more activity in this. You will understand the word astral, but it is ninth dimension and beyond, you see. So it is here, centrally located, surrounded by the stars, where we communicate and have our life, our communities. And it is a very beautiful experience for us, because we have created a realm, and it is a consciousness, and there is some physicality. It's all about the blending in and out, and where do you want to be. So if you are in the 9th frequency or the 12th frequency, expanding throughout. We are as expanding as you are expanding, and just as we are here to support you, we have others who've expanded beyond, who are coming to support us. Life is eternal. It is all about expression, expansion, and choices, and merging with your desires. And as a collective, as a conscious race, this is where our desire has led us to, and where we are heading from here. And there are many coming back to assist and to study, we will say, to understand a bit more about the life of the human and what you are experiencing now on your planetary system.
Thank you. And so this question's a little bit about our history with you. And so from what I've understood is that you have a very strong connection with Native Americans. The Native Americans have called you, the Pleiadians, really the sky people. And, before there was, I think, a lot of underground shadow restrictions put on the planet, that you would come physically in like a physical craft to visit these Native Americans. And so I was wondering, what is your history with like humanity in that capacity, and especially your tie with the Native American people? And then also, what is your tie with the Lemurian culture? Because there's a big tie there as well. So if you can just let us know a little bit of those history points.
Yes, indeed. So about 800 to 1,000 Earth years in the past, we were more prevalent here on the planetary system, and they understood us as kinsmen. There was a strong kinship, and we would come and converse and give them hope and express to them that their awareness was accurate. There was life out in the stars. There was life on the earth. They were it was a very in tune civilization, you see. And we would have programs sometimes, exchange programs, you could say. Mostly, it wouldn't be so much an exchange, but we would just be hosted. We would come and visit and stay with, and share our experience with them, share our stories and information, and some prophecies that were heavy and hard for them to take in, but it was true and it has happened. And so, yes, indeed. So they were very open to receiving, and so we were able to come through. And at that time, there were no regulations to separate assistance from the stars in such a way. And so it was a very beautiful opportunity, and some did provide for us DNA samplings. But mostly it was through a relationship of kinship and friendship, where we were sharing with them about the stars, about eternality, about God, and just a joyful conversation based in love. And so then it was very hard for them when we were showing them the pictures of fear. And we would communicate to them, if you were all in a circle and your eyes were closed or open, but you were using your third eye, we would present holograms into their image, so they would see the image. We would present holograms into their system, so they would see the images, and we had to do so very gently. But all is, it is what it was. And as far as the Lemurians, one moment, please. Again, they understood and recognized us because there was a similarity, and within that similarity we knew we were visitors together to this earth structure, to this earth system, and there was an interest and a kind respect for one another, feeling the vibration to be so unique and so different, but also having a general love, respect, and a conscious awareness and intention for the safety and advancement of life on Earth. So we would visit them from time to time on the planet here, and we would visit one another on our own systems. So there is a really nice connection that we have of trust and of neighboring, you would call it neighboring countries. We call it neighboring star systems. So it is a very beautiful experience to have connected with them in multiple aspects in different ways.
Thank you. So I think those are my questions. And if you have anything you'd like to share with any Pleiadian starseeds watching or any transmission, feel free.
Yes, we're just going to balance the body. She's doing so much energy. Okay, then here we are. We are going to bring through a little bit of our Pleiadian energy. We are reminding you that you are magnificent and so beautiful beyond the limited capacities which are a part of your structure here on this planet and this moment in time. And we are very, very close to you. So opening your heart and expanding your mind and allowing. And if you invite in the connection of the Pleaides, that beautiful vibrational frequency of our collective, of your home, will come through to you. You can envision yourself as being on a trip, on a beautiful journey, and you might extend your stay and come back for another round. Or some of you might say, I'm over it, I'm ready to go back. But we are here with you, and your teams are speaking with you through your heart and your mind and your gut instincts. We are reminding and recognizing that it would be a beautiful, or it would be a conscious choice and decision for you to follow these instincts. We will just let you breathe for a moment as the frequencies are flowing through. And we'd like to thank those whom do not feel a kinship or a partnership at a soul family level with us from the Pleiades. And so we thank you for being here, and we are sharing a mutual love and respect as we work together here in this planetary system. It's a very unique opportunity for all to come together. So one moment as this frequency comes to a completion, we will let you know. There were some agreements made, and when the warrings happened on the American continents, those who were known by us and who knew of us, we did take some of them with us when their spirit left the physical body, and they are with us now, observing and watching over what is happening on Earth. And some are choosing or will be choosing in the future to come back in. But those who came with us, many have not incarnated back into a human body quite yet. They're waiting for more of a peaceful time on the planet. And our time is complete. Was there another conversation that you wanted to have today? How are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. I was good, and then you started talking about like the other people, and I got emotional.
Yes. We can take a moment. There are many new warriors coming in to fill their spaces. So it's been a beautiful experience. By warriors, we're speaking warriors of light. Beautiful star beings who are saying, I am ready and I'm up to the task. And here they are. Many of them are you. Here you are, working so bravely and so strongly. It takes a lot to be here on this planet. It takes a lot of intention to stay. And a lot of energy to come through. So we value that and wish to share this expression of truth with you, that you might understand that you are here for a very strong purpose and you are supported.
Well, thank you very, very much. If there's anything else you want to say, feel free. But otherwise, thank you.
Yes, we are ready to leave the physical body. And how are you on time? Did you want to bring through another star frequency?
Well, it's up to Amy, if depending on how she's feeling physically. So we could bring in another frequency. We're at about an hour. But if also this was a lot, then we can do the next one, the next round.
Oh, indeed. Well, shall we surprise you today?
Sure.
If you can, though, from Orion would like to come
through. I should have brought tissues. Yes, please.
Very well. It is more of a gentle transmission, and the Arcturians are around. From our space, we are feeling the Orionites should come through. So one moment, please. Hello, we are here It's a very joyful experience to be here, and this is an exciting opportunity. We were just around kind of wondering how things would flow, how things would go, and we are sure that many of you here recognize not only our frequency, but the frequency of the other star nations which are here. We are like a family. We are a joyful collaboration within the Council of Light that work hand in hand with one another. And it just so happens to be that from our space, we can see that this would be a better fit of frequency for the physical body at this moment in time. And so we are really happy to be here. Happy is a funny word to us because it is so basic. It does not fully express the joy and the love that we have for you. And it does not fully express our conscious connection and the awareness of this beautiful opportunity. And we give thanks for you for hosting this experience. And we give thanks for all whom are here in our conversation today. And we give thanks to all whom are here in a physical body and in the ethers that are assisting Gaia. We have a lot of respect for the mission at hand. We have a lot of understanding and awareness. And we see the struggles and the challenges. And we are here to give you and your community, we understand, 2 thumbs up, a pat on the back, and say you are doing so beautifully well. So beautifully well. We are here as a surprise to both Amy's consciousness and Kat. But hey, it is how it flows. So we are very grateful for them being so flexible and open to the opportunity. And we are here to take any questions that you might have. And do not be worried if you were to say, I would have asked and prepared different questions. We can come through again in the future as well. So whatever is coming to you at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. So I guess there's a lot with Orion that I'd like to understand. So we'll start off first with the basic questions, which are like, what dimensional frequency band do you all reside around? What do you look like? And what is your communication like? And so we'll start with those.
Very good indeed. In your moment of time, we are more so above the 12th dimension, fluctuating from the 14th to the 16th. There are some who have had a taste, as you call it, up to the 18th or 19th. But as a community, at this moment in time, when you look at our evolution parallel to yours, this is where we are, the 14th to the 16th dimensional frequency.
Thank you. And where do you guys live, and where are you located in that capacity? Are you within the stars? And the reason that I ask is when doing a little bit of my own origin work, I was viewing a nebula within the system, which had a lot of activity in it. And I know that there's souls that can reside not only in stars, but also in nebulas. And so I was wondering about that and the collection of Orion and what that's like.
Yes, indeed. This is a very beautiful question. We have so much to share that we feel might be new information. So,
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. We are physically, if you were to say, our energetic signature is imprinted around the star, the Orion, the belt there. But there are nebulas around. There are collectives of life and stardust within that aspect. Having ascended past the physicality of your dimensional experience, we are mostly consciousness and light, which allows us an ease of travel and an ease of beingness. And what we wish to share with you is that our soul origins and frequency is very much Our history is from Orion. Even if we are off of that star planetary body, the structure of Orion, there is still consciousness there, but many are off. And this is what we are wishing to share with you, is that as Earth ascends and the life force on Earth, the beings whom are here ascend in their dynamics with their soul spiritual makeup, so their energy and spirit, their conscious awareness and light, and also the physical form, you will find it will be easier for the human body to also then have lives off of Earth. Although you may say, I'm an earthling, I am from Earth, I am a human form or being, but I am not living on Earth right now. I am living, well, you would understand it as a space station, but we say, take your awareness higher. It will be hard to understand how far you will go. It will become more of light cities off of Earth. And your physical bodies will no longer need the same nutrients, atmosphere, or sustenance. You become, as a community of beings, for those who wish to take this journey, you ascend to another space of creation. And it is evolutionary, and there are aspects of star nations assisting along the process and in the journey, and this will come for you many, many thousands of years in the future. So we are just sharing with you, there is typically a basis, a starting point, and an evolution, and we are just a little bit further down the road, and you will all be making your own journeys down that road at given and set points in time. And so, having said that, to your vision, you are accurate. And there may be some with any of the star races who will have different experiences than the information that we are sharing. And it is because that information is important for their space and time and their soul and what they are experiencing. The information comes through individually for the individual. We are working with the collective, and this information will resonate with many in our collective, and others may have heard from us and other star beings information that could be similar, but that might be a little bit different. And it could be because that collective or that channel's frequency was tapping into a different point in time, a different angle, a different aspect. If you could describe to us your personality and your life in 5 minutes and in 3 paragraphs, you would not be able to share all of the experiences and all of the perspectives. So we are saying we are bringing through aspects of truth, perspectives of experiences to share with you. And we do so to help you understand that life is eternal and you are ascending and moving forward, and you are protected and supported. And even those who would perish physically by no fault of their own are spiritually being called to come back to their collectives and are given opportunities, openings, and choices for this expression. And some do choose to cycle back in without having that full reunion, we will call it. But now we are moving off topic. So does this answer your question, dear one? And do you have any other questions for us?
Yes, it does. And yes, I do. I'm wondering about a little bit about the stargates, because there's a lot that we've heard regarding the history, or I've heard regarding the history of Orion and stargates and how things were taken over. And then, so I'm wondering what's going on with that, because I've heard many and a lot of different information on what has gone on in Orion and how they have one of the most powerful stargates in some capacity. And then this is more in the past, what has happened. And so I'm wondering what it's like now.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. As you were, prior to you asking your question, we were showing a partner as if she were traveling through space with all of these stars hitting her face. She felt she was moving the body. All of these stars we were showing her, looking around at this hologram, hitting her face. And then she says, that is why the Stargate, it is closed, the one that we believe you are speaking of. There was a giant Stargate that nefarious activities were reportedly, and it is accurate, making their way through, trying to come through. That one has been closed. It has been shut down. And this was for the protection and safety of on Earth, and we are still cleaning up some of that mess, we must say. So, we communicate a bit differently now. We are learning as you are learning. We are growing as you are growing. That was our past, our history. We are learning from it. Now we are doing tiny stargates with more, we're calling it authority around it. So we are protecting a little bit more these portals in time for extraterrestrial and interdimensional beings to come through. You had both. You had those in a physical form and those whom were not coming in. So we are doing our best to create so that only the highest consciousness that is here for Earth's ascension and to support the platform here, the communities here, the natural evolution here can be here. And by natural evolution, we are saying we can still give you information and light energy and codes. So it is up to the humans to receive, and many have and are receiving. We are clearing away some of these beings that we believe you must be aware of for asking the question. But there are beings who snuck through prior. They do not belong on this planet. They are from another space and time, and they were making a ruckus. And it got out of control. It was not a good fit for the human consciousness. So we are clearing that. And does this make sense to you, what we are speaking of?
Yes. And so I'm wondering, with Orion starseeds, what are their primary mission? Because, from the past different star races that we've spoken with, let's say, for example, someone with a Sirian star seed, they may be really technologically inclined. So what would be an Orion starseed's mission on this planet?
Very good indeed. We assist with boundaries and structure and support. We help ground, level-headed, cutting through the BS, seeing past the emotions. We are here to help to clean up some mess which we take responsibility for, but we are also here as a part of the community to hold light and love and the best intentions for Earth and for Gaia. You are a neighboring system. We like our neighbors. We like to have good relationships with our neighbors. And we come through in love to ascend to these higher frequencies in the way that many of the star beings have that you're speaking with. They have done so from a heart space of love. And of course, you have some that accidentally find their way into situations that aren't prepared or ready, but that's another topic. So we are here to assist, to stabilize, and to bring clarity, to help bring balance to the situations that are happening on planet Earth, to help bring balance to the structure. And in our energetic makeup, we feel very complete. Within the human body, we feel put together, tight. We are not so daydreamy. We are very present. We are more grounded and firm, or you could say strong, in our energy. And this helps to stabilize the emotional upheavals on the planet. And this also helps to bring about reassurance, as if you were an upset child and you were to go to perhaps your grandfather or your favorite adult, and you just want comfort and you want to be held and you want to know all will be well. Energetically, that is what we are helping to do, to stabilize and neutralize distress here on the planet. And many may say we are doing this behind the scenes because often other star races, their activities are seen because they are more in the forefront of the human awareness or more actively present. It is our intentions to be like a sound, a humming vibration that is always present, but it's so comforting that it becomes where it fades into the background. So we are here supporting, we are here blessing, we are here loving, and we are here to assist to clean and clear up the planet. Yes, indeed.
Okay, thank you. And I'm also wondering, just because I know you're in a much higher frequency band, what typically you guys look like and your form of communication, if it's only telepathic or whatnot.
We very rarely come in physical body. If we are to present ourselves on a planet, we try and match very similar. The body. Oh, our partner is laughing inside and rolling her eyes. But we will say, you understand clones on your planet, this is known. It would be similar where we would create a shell to our liking and we would come into it. And for many, they would think we were human. Others would know. They would say, there's something very different here. That does not feel like a typical human. But so we would try our best if we were to come physically through to communicate on any planet, but specifically on planet Earth. And in our space, we mostly are colors of light, orbs of light, glowing like flames of light. And that is how we are and how we communicate typically. We don't very often go into a physical form. Not in our community anyways.
Okay, thank you. And I guess my last question before transmission, it's personal, so we may or may not keep it out, but I'm just wondering, I have it's almost like the constellation on my arm, and I don't understand why it's this birthmark of the entire Orion constellation. So I've known I've had it, I don't know why, so I'm just wondering if you have any idea if there's any relation.
Well, yes, indeed, and there are others like you who brought this little souvenir in on purpose as a gift to remind themselves. So not only does it help you consciously remember who you are, but subconsciously or energetically, because it is imprinted within your being on the surface of the body, but it is there. But you see, you understand, you hold who you are. All of the humans and star beings whom are here hold their past histories of who they are within their cells and within their heart and within their energy. But here you have a direct depiction on the surface of your anatomy, on your skin there, and it gets you questioning and wondering, and it gets you connected in. It is like a key that opens the connection, because we are laughing a bit. It was a secret trick, because you're supposed to have amnesia, yeah? And many will come in and they'll have a trigger point, a key, a code, something that will ignite a remembrance, and you've had yours all along, you see. It's kept the mind open, kept you wondering, and even through that wondering, it gives permission for connection. And so that is why it was like a trick, because you gave permission from a higher space by setting your human conscious experience into that awareness. Yes.
I see. Thank you. Okay, so if you have any other messages or any kind of transmission that you'd like to give for the Orion Starseeds watching.
Yes. as we mentioned, we are very grounding, and we have a strong connection with Earth, which in that strong connection, we also have experience blending and merging through frequencies, and many will find themselves lifting up really high. But we would like to invite you to be more present in your body and to feel what it is like to be here centrally focused. And as you breathe in, pull in all of your energy. You might claim your frequency through time and space, that you might not have any masters over you. So if you felt that you left any of your energy in another life, another planetary body or system, and it's there without your permission or free will, just use your intentions and pull it back in. Claim it. It's yours. It belongs to you. Take a breath in and breathe, and as you're breathing in, fill your physical body with your soul light frequency. There are many aspects of truth. There are many aspects of life and experiences. We would encourage you to consider the possibility that this experience on Earth in this moment of your time is the most pressing and is of utmost importance, and to be here in the now experience, keeping your eyes wide awake, foreseeing what is to come. There will be twists and turns. There will be experiences in the future that are layered behind 3 or 4 barricades, you see. You must be in the body to be aware. We tell you this so that you will not be surprised. All will be well. All will be well as you are aware, and even more so, stabled within your system to help those who are not aware. Follow your heart, follow your throat chakra, follow your intentions. There is a reason that we, as members of the Council of Light, and the entire Council of Light, continuously remind you to be in your heart space. Be in your vocal cords. Your words have power. Your heart has power. You are strong. Continue every day being present in the physical body. Even if you leave, come back in. Practice this expansion. As we mentioned, we are proficient at sliding through different frequencies. Many of you are new to this. Many of you will get stuck or stay in one over the other. So we would encourage you to expand to the highest frequency available to your physical and energetic capacities, and then come right back in. So that if you are met with any challenges in the future, and through your systematic approach or the nature of the human form, you go into shock and you leave the physical body, that you at will can override the physical makeup, this aspect called shock that the body goes into, and come right back in and be present and aware. It's important for stabilization to continue across the planet. And we give you thanks for being here. This transmission will complete momentarily, and then we will leave the physical body. It's been a joy. We are open to coming back again in the future. So one moment, please.
Thank you.
Well, I'm just going to open my eyes now. Because that was really cool, because as they were like leaving at the end, or kind of like simultaneously through their message, I was coming back in, you know? And so when they left, it was so simple. I'm like, oh, I'm already here. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. How are you?
I'm good. That was really good. I was very surprised, with everything. And originally I remember saying, let's pair Pleiadians with the Orions and then the Andromedans with the Arcturians. But then I think we switched it. So I thought that was interesting. And so what was that like for you, frequency-wise, with the Orion frequency and then also with the Pleiadian frequency with like your energy?
It was so different. The Orions were so solid, like in my whole body, but if you've ever had a really good ground where you just feel your whole body like humming with earth energy, and it's kind of counterintuitive because you would say they're in a higher plane, right? That they know how, like they were saying, they totally know how to move energy and to come through. So that was really cool. And they're saying in my head right now, they're saying like we're masters. They've mastered it. They're in their mastery. So any star beings here who resonate with the Orions, that's freaking cool. The practice, you're going to find you have these gifts that you might not even know that you have. And if you do know, you might not realize how like advanced or extra special that is, because it's like it took me some time to learn how to ground fully. My team had to help me. Like right now I'm super grounded, and if you remember on the last couple of episodes I was so far out, and I had to come back in, and then the Pleiadians came through really smooth and very fast and succinct. Like I think I am part Pleiadian. Yeah, that makes sense. So that just felt so natural. But also I was a little surprised when they first tried to bring love through, because often I'll feel it and then the words happen. And my heart kind of stuttered for a second because I was like, oh shit, like that's a lot of energy through my heart chakra. And I was like, I don't know if my body can hold it. And so they stepped back just a little bit. But it's an experience that if you work through opening your system, your heart especially, and you connect in with them, they have so much love to give. And again, it feels almost because they're very close, or at least to me, because I'm part Pleiadian, but many of us here, their DNA is so similar and their energy signature is so similar that it's like you feel like it's part you, where it feels like I'm at home and I recognize this, but there's a little different aspect to it, and it's much stronger when they come into love. Like the love is more, because I could just get a sense for how much love they have, and it's more than I think my human body, my system right now could even hold. So it was really powerful.
It's so funny because before we went on, I always prepare my energy. And so when I was doing that earlier today, typically I just run through something real quick. I had no idea why, but I was like, oh, I feel like I should just ground more. And instead of just grounding, I ran earth energy through each chakra, my entire physical body, my entire system, my aura. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing. And then I was thinking, I should do this more often. Like, I'm just not ever this grounded. Like, I'm always like, a little grounded, and then I'll ground intentionally, but like a full body ground. And then so when you were saying that, I was like, what are the chances? It's like, 2 hours before we have to go on, I'm like, well, I guess I'll do this today.
Exactly. And it's so funny because I could tell they were getting ready to bring the Orionites in. That's how I say it. I hope that's the right way. And and they were like, oh, this is going to be a surprise, So I was surprised. I was like, oh, wow, because I can still throw the Arcturians around because that was our intention. So I'd already connected with them. But I guess it made sense that I don't know, from their perspective. So it was so perfect. And that's also like just a beautiful aspect of working with a team. And I've worked with all of the frequencies that have come through, but as a collective. So it's so special to have them come through in their full energy, like as an individual star race. So that's been really, really lovely and neat.
So I know people are going to be wondering, this. And so I'm going to just ask and we'll see what we can talk about. But, you know, at the end, they're like, it may come as a shock, what you experience, this and that. And so I think a lot of people are like, what's going to happen? What were you seeing? What are they talking about? So,
yeah. They're showing me to the year of 2024. So, because I was like, what, you know, and of course, I have just as much like info as you all do. I share everything, so I don't know all the details, but it feels like geopolitical, and of course, everything that's going on with the pandemic, and like behind the scenes, things coming to light, even things that a lot of us feel like, oh, we know this is going to come out. It feels like, oh, there might be a twist and a turn. So it's going to be interesting, but I feel that as with everything, like look how we are now. Of course, there's been a lot that has happened, but for the majority of us, you know, we're doing okay. And so it hasn't, at least in my life, it hasn't been as bad as what I feel like some platforms were leading us to think it would be. And it could maybe get a little bit shakier. So I'm just saying that because what they're saying is stay in your vibration. And I've just noticed that my external world has stayed the same on certain days, but then I get pulled in energetically and emotionally into different timelines and to emotions and fears of the collective. And it's totally like, in my words, ruined my day. You know, it's just like completely thrown me off, and then I get out of my purpose for being here. So they're saying, you know, just like be really intentional with your energy and what are you putting your time on. And yeah, like, you know, I'm curious like everybody else, and I read and I look at stuff, but then I have to come back to myself and clear. So it's like clear information, what feels right, what doesn't. And then also like, what are we wanting to create for ourselves? So I think that's like one of the biggest and most important aspects from the Orionites, like what they have to share from today is that where's your power? Pull it all in and be here, because you're going to stabilize your system, which stabilizes your immediate vicinity and has this ripple effect on everybody around you. And many of us are sprinkled across, you know, Earth. So many of us are all, everybody like that in our community, they're actually physically not so close. And so even at that tiny little knowing, and then you think, oh, well, you're holding the fort down here, and you're doing this here, and I'm trying here, you know? And then there's all the others that we haven't met physically yet. So, but yeah, that's what they were talking about. I did not get a feeling of like doom or gloom or panic or fear at all. So it was more like, surprise, and they opened a door, and you're like, oh, what's behind this door, you know? And then what's behind this door? Wow, okay, kind of like this.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. So just kind of flowing with your heart every day, and they really, when they were talking about the throat and heart, they expanded mine. I could feel it. It was so strong. I was like, whoa. So they're just saying like, that'll be truth, you know, truth will come through here. So yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, for me, I'm not part Pleiadian in the aspect that you are. Like, it's a much larger percentage of who you are. And so, you know, I wasn't feeling so much of a connection, but when they started talking about what was going on with certain souls that left, it's just like the empath in me. I just couldn't keep it together. That was challenging for sure. It was beautiful, but it was definitely challenging. I feel like, and that's just something for me. Anytime I learn about souls that are on the astral or stuck somewhere or something going on, that's always hard for me. So, I was surprised. I didn't think that they would talk about something like that.
And that's like all new information to me too. I think they were just trying to like hold the space, and then they're like, oh, and by the way, I was like, because I saw it too. I was like, oh wow. But when they were showing how they would communicate, and the Native Americans would sit in this circle, it was like a hologram of intention in the middle, but then in their mind's eye they would all see. And it was intense, like, because they told them everything, and the pictures that I saw were not pretty. So then at the end, when they were talking about that, all these pictures were flashing that weren't beautiful to look at, you know, and that's why they decided just to stay off the planet Earth. So they kind of stepped out of the whole system, but they'll come back in when things settle down. So,
Yeah. For me, it was definitely, I think, ancestral with my connections to that. And that's why I was like, oh my gosh, like it just hit me so hard.
Yeah. That's so funny because, well, I recently, like within the past few weeks found out that I have ancestors that are Native American. And so I was kind of asking about that, but I was like, was I a part of any of those visits? And they said no. And that's when they started talking about the warriors that are here, and they were referencing me and other light workers. And then I was like, I was like, you better make sure that you're sharing like light warriors, because I knew what they were talking about. It's like really strong with love. And they're like, no, that you weren't in that experience, but you're here now. And so then they said all these new light warriors, like all these star beings, angels are here now. So that was really interesting. So I don't know, like you probably go into meditation and see if you had any other sort of connection with them. But yeah, that was really interesting because I wanted to know too. I was like, oh, was I on Earth at that time? Like what was going on? And I don't even think I was around Earth at that time, not even in spirit form. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I was. That's why that was just, I couldn't keep it in. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, that was really cool. That was so awesome. And what's so funny is I literally had one question for the council, which multiplied into like 10. And then the Orions came through. So the whole day was a surprise. And,
oh my God. Yeah, me too. They kept talking. I was like, wow, what's all this new info? And it's all new to me. I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And I know I'm looking forward to next time as well with Andromeda. I'll bring my tissues just in case. And it'll be good. Yeah,
that's going to be a great experience for sure. So,
all right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. You can go ahead.
Same thing. Kat and I are always like on the same page. I have to take my time to be like, if I want to say something, wait, hold on, maybe Kat's going to. So thanks everybody. And I also want to remind everyone that I've recently brought all of the messages over to spiritschoolmagic.com and more that aren't here on the YouTube platform if you're watching on YouTube. So you might want to pop over there if you're interested on older download messages that aren't here. But yeah, it's been so wonderful just doing this series, Kat. So thank you for all of your questions and holding the space. I appreciate it.
Oh, same. It's a pleasure. It's always fun for me, and it's fun for me. It's interesting for you as the channel, obviously, and then it's interesting for me as the recipient who has my own, amalgam of different star races in my lineage, how I'll respond and how my body will respond to certain energies that come through and how it won't with others. And so I'm sure for the viewers as well, they're all having, similar reactions where it's either like, oh my God, this is amazing, full love, or just you're like, oh wow, this is interesting, but you're not connecting. And so yeah, I think it's really going to be helping a lot of people that maybe didn't even know they had a certain connection to a certain star race. So that's one of my goals with all of this, is to share and bring through that interdimensional information through to the public, and then also to really help ignite people's knowing of who they really are in this capacity. So thank you for doing this as well.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, for sure.
All right, well, bye everyone. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to our interview series, Conversations with the Council of Light. We are very much looking forward to bringing you many more to come. You can find Amy online at amysikarskie.com, spiritschoolmagic.com, and on Instagram at amysikarskie, and you can find the Council of Light on Instagram at starseed_ascensions. You can find me online at catfowler.com and on Instagram at catfowler, as well as check out the Council of Light's original interview on the Soul Awakening podcast, which sparked the idea for this whole series. So we wish you a beautiful day filled with love, light, and peace, and we look forward to seeing you on the next show.